So kind of just why marksmanship? Why would you do this when there's so many different things you can do in college, so many different sports and such. And I think probably the best way to think about it is that marksmanship is a form of martial arts similar to archery. It doesn't mean that you necessarily have to be fighting. Many people who learn things like archery don't plan on shooting other people with arrows and such, but having the knowledge to be able to use it does have applications in the real world if you were in a survival or fighting situation. And it does teach a lot of physical and mental discipline. If you look at the picture, being able to hold that pose for a long time to be able to make extremely precise shots is not something that is necessarily easy. It requires you to work on your breathing, your focus, being able to hold the stance without your muscles kind of giving in and becoming having your hands start to shake and such. So this requires a lot of practice and such. And shooting is actually one of the safer sports. You might think that people are getting seriously injured in the sport, but it's actually kind of rarity. I've heard kind of just as a joke another person say that shooting clubs are safer than a chess club, because in chess you might get into a big fight with some of the other people if they lose, but in shooting, everyone is super focused on safety, and so um, it's extremely rare for there to actually be accidents as long as people are paying attention and such. And kind of that last bullet point, which I did touch on, it does have real world applications. So we definitely aren't preparing you for any gunfights or anything like that. But if you were to be a home defense situation, you were to have a CCW, a lot of the skills in this club can be applied to that. But you should not think of marksmanship as a training to fight sport necessarily, just as you wouldn't assume that someone who is playing baseball is learning to use a baseball bat to be able to fight, even though technically that is a possible application.